India-Pakistan war intensifies with counter-insurgency operations. Tensions between India and Pakistan have reached a critical point as military confrontations intensify along the line of control, LoC, and in key conflict zones, particularly Jammu and Kashmir. What initially began as a series of border skirmishes has now escalated into a full-blown military standoff, with both nations accusing each other of aggression and provocation. The latest developments suggest that this is not just a conventional war but a deeply complex conflict marked by sophisticated counter-insurgency operations on both sides. In recent weeks, India has significantly ramped up its counter-insurgency efforts in Kashmir, deploying elite paramilitary units and special forces to eliminate what it describes as infiltrators and Pakistan-backed militants. Indian intelligence agencies have identified a surge in infiltration attempts, claiming that militant groups supported by Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence (ISI) are trying to exploit the unrest to destabilize the region. The Indian Army has responded with aggressive search and destroy missions across northern Kashmir, resulting in multiple encounters that have left dozens of suspected insurgents dead. In addition to ground forces, India has employed drone surveillance and precision airstrikes to target militant hideouts in remote mountainous areas. Indian officials assert that these operations are necessary to restore order and prevent a larger-scale insurgency. Pakistan, however, denies any involvement in cross-border militancy and has accused India of committing human rights violations in Kashmir. Islamabad has also increased its military readiness along the border, moving troops and armored vehicles closer to strategic positions. In a press statement, the Pakistani military described India's actions as an unprovoked aggression aimed at altering the regional status quo through brute force. Adding to the volatility, there have been reports of civilian casualties on both sides due to artillery shelling and aerial bombardment. Villages along the LoC have turned into war zones, with thousands of residents displaced and in urgent need of humanitarian aid. International organizations have expressed deep concern, urging both countries to exercise restraint and prioritize diplomatic dialogue over armed conflict. The global community, particularly the United Nations and major powers like the United States, China, and Russia, have called for immediate de-escalation. However, efforts at mediation have so far failed to yield tangible results. Analysts warn that if unchecked, the ongoing conflict could spiral into a larger regional war, with devastating consequences not just for India and Pakistan, but for South Asia as a whole. What makes this conflict particularly dangerous is the nuclear backdrop. Both nations possess nuclear weapons, and even a limited escalation could have catastrophic implications. While nuclear deterrence has historically prevented full-scale war between the two countries, the rising frequency and scale of skirmishes have weakened the credibility of traditional red lines. In conclusion, the intensifying war between India and Pakistan, fueled by counter-insurgency operations and mutual hostility, poses a grave threat to regional peace. The path forward requires immediate international mediation, a halt to cross-border hostilities, and renewed efforts for long-term political resolution, especially regarding the contested territory of Kashmir.